Information presented on this video is for education and entertainment purposes only. If you have a medical condition, please seek advice of a licensed medical practitioner. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Elena coming into your airwaves with another episode of the Health Wizard podcast. Today, I am excited to bring a former client of mine. When she reached out to me only a year ago, she was struggling for multiple conditions. There was adrenal fatigue, there was hypothyroidism, there were multiple infections and lymph nodes that were swollen. She was on medication and supplements. She tried multiple diets. She tried multiple things with her doctors and nothing was working. And her disease was progressing really fast. Within 1 year, she went from thriving and being vibrant to really being afraid of her future. Her relationship was being affected. She was afraid that she would never become a mother, which was a dream of her life. And finally, she got to a point where she had enough of the pain and she said, enough is enough. That's when she found me. And with the encouragement and help of her husband, she began her journey to healing only a year ago. As of today, Skylar, who I'm about to bring your way, is a mother of a beautiful baby boy, so infertility no more. She is a happy wife. She is living the life of her dream, and she's absolutely symptom-free. Listen to her story and see the progression of her healing. And I want you to, through this process, to see and hear yourself in it, that anything is possible for you. If she can do it, so can you. If I could do it, so can you. So without further ado, let's welcome Skylar.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, Elena.
Thanks for being here and so generously agreeing to do this. I would love to discuss your journey. What was your life like before we met? And we met last July, so it's actually almost a year on the dot here now. And when you reached out to me, you were struggling with a few conditions and 40 symptoms. So can you talk me through what was the problems that you were experiencing?
Yeah, of course. So I first started getting sick at the end of 2018, and I've always been very in tune with my body. So I can pinpoint exactly when I started to really feel bad because I've always been really into fitness. You know, I've worked out 6 days a week and I eat what I thought was a healthy diet, yet I was still feeling just horrible. And it started with these recurrent infections. So I kept getting urinary tract infections and yeast infections. And I would go to a traditional doctor and they would prescribe me antibiotics and send me out the door. But, you know, the infections just kept coming back. So I started to do my own research and I decided to get off the birth control pill. I'd been on it for 9 years straight. And I was like, well, maybe this will help resolve some of my issues. Mm-hmm. And then around that same time, I lost my job. The school I was teaching at unexpectedly closed down. They're like, you have 30 days and we're closing down. So I was under a tremendous amount of stress. And that kind of just really made my health decline a lot at that point. My hair started falling out and my skin broke out in horrible acne, which really affected my confidence levels. And my mood was just, I was sad all the time. And my lymph nodes in my neck were just huge, swollen. I had all kinds of horrible, like my sleep was really what affected me a lot. I had insomnia.
So quite a story, or you're still in your mid-20s at that time. Life is supposed to be just like life is an oyster. What do we do? And what you're describing is more like past midlife crisis. Life is not working out on my own. So that alone must have felt really depressing to be so young and so sick.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd always been super healthy and valued my health. And just to see it rapidly decline like that was really hard for me.
And you were very active, so you pursued it. I know when we first spoke with you a year ago, you said you tried the paleo diet, you tried about a dozen supplements, did different hormone tests in different doctors. So what exactly have you tried at that time?
So I started to see a naturopath. I thought that would be a better route to go. You know, they wouldn't just put me on antibiotics. And, you know, that worked for a while, but then it became all about supplements. And so each week she would prescribe me a new supplement to try. And I thought, oh, this is great. And I tried it for a while. And several months in, I didn't see any improvement. I was actually starting to get worse. And my stress levels were climbing because I wasn't seeing any improvement in my health. And she ran some tests, and that's when I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And I also had thyroid antibodies in my blood. So basically my immune system was beginning to attack my own thyroid. And
So
that
you were getting into Hashimotos, and which is a progression for a lot of women. And so at that time, your doctor is still prescribing you more medication, more supplements.
right. And I was all about trying it for a while, and then we saw no improvement. So yeah, that was very depressing for me because I thought that, oh, these supplements are going to work great. You know, they're natural.
Well,
So
that is the big thing, right? Natural. And as we work together, we discussed that how unnatural it is to find something in a plastic or a glass bottle. Doesn't matter, somewhere that's been sitting on the shelf, extracted from something. It's really a medication, because even the medication that our doctors prescribe us, they're still originally are derived from something natural. But it does not really mean that it was natural. So at what point do you say enough is enough? I need to take an alternative route.
well, my relationship started to suffer. I was under a lot of stress because I read that women who have hypothyroidism have trouble getting pregnant.
Mhm.
And so that caused so much fear in my life that I was constantly had anxiety, and my husband could tell I just wasn't happy. That fear consumed my life. I was like, what if I can't get pregnant? And it was just a constant cycle for us. And he always tried to talk me through it, but nothing could get through to me. I was just so afraid. And he could tell I wasn't happy. And then that's when I started searching for alternatives, and I came across your podcast and started
Yay.
hearing about women's
Yay, I'm so
stories.
happy I do them. And
Yeah.
so something gave you hope. What was it that really leapt out at you and you said, okay, this must be something that I need to do?
Well, I saw other women's stories and how they had reversed their hypothyroidism. And my doctor told me that wasn't possible. So here are these people that aren't doctors and they've done it. And I was just so intrigued. I'm like, if they can do it, then I can do it. I'm going to go for it.
Right. Why, we're not that different from each other after all. It's not
Right.
like some people like me have magic sauce, although we do, but it's so simple to get to. And so we did, when you and I started a year ago, you had 40 symptoms, you were taking a lot of supplements. What was your biggest aha moment as we began to work together?
The biggest aha moment was that I can have a healthy diet and I can work out, but there's so much more to it than that. I didn't know how to manage my stress. I had this negative mindset, and your program really encompassed your whole life, all aspects of it. I would compare it to, like, I'm really into these home renovation TV shows,
Mhm.
and that's what I would compare it to. You can't just go in and fix the home with a hammer. Like for me, my hammer was fitness.
Mhm.
But you need several tools to fix a home, just like you need several tools to fix your health.
Yeah, and you have to kind of start from the bottom up. What's the foundation? A lot of people, especially in whether it's naturopathic or allopathic medicine, kind of see, oh, there is a problem. There's a crack in the wall. So let's patch it up with a band-aid, as opposed to looking at what is going on with the foundation. So you and
Exactly.
I went looking at your foundation. What did you uncover that was off, and what were the cracks in your foundation?
So I had some past trauma that needed healed, and I never would have even thought that that was causing my health issues. So without your help, I would still be sick today because I've learned to deal with those traumas and heal from them and repair my relationship with myself.
Yeah,
And that
don't make me do the ugly cry here. It always just one of the things that I was healing from infertility and hypothyroidism, just like you, is I uncovered the same thing. When you go to doctors, is there's either medication or supplements, or I was even offered surgeries, IVF, other things, but nobody really went and asked me, how was your childhood? How did you process? Was there any trauma in your life? How do you process stress? What do you think about yourself? And the more I began to heal myself, the more I saw how big of a correlation it was. You turn something on and off, your genetic expression, just through the thoughts that you think, and that is nothing that our doctors are trained to teach us yet. So talk me through this process of you're starting to get better. And I
yeah,
know, was it 5 weeks in that you discovered that you got pregnant?
yeah, 5 weeks. I saw pretty rapid results, and I think I was just 100% committed from the beginning. So and I wasn't really sick that long. So I think that helped me really start to reverse my symptoms
Well,
quickly.
long enough for you to have been fed up with it. You're like, I'm
Yes,
done.
exactly.
And one day too many, so 1 year was plenty for you to be sick. So there
Yes.
was rapid reversal of your symptoms. You
Right.
find out that you're pregnant. What is going through? So your relationship before was affected. How is that changing it now?
Oh, it's amazing now. We have such a good marriage. And I honestly have people come to me that are like, how do you do it? You guys look so happy together. And like, well, it starts with yourself, really.
Yeah, it does. It does. It
Yeah,
starts, yes, it's the food that we eat. They're very important, aren't they? But it does start with the love of self. And in America, I know, and then people who are in religious circles, like, oh my God, it's all about selfishness. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about self-awareness, self-love, self-fullness, kind of like you can't love your neighbor until you have loved yourself fully. And people go, especially people in the religious circles, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And unfortunately, what I find amazingly, Skylar, is a lot of us, especially women in America and probably around the world, don't know how to love ourselves. Did you find that to be true for yourself?
definitely. Yeah, I have more confidence now than I ever have before. I just had a baby and I'm like, I love my body so much. Look at this amazing thing it's done for me. It's healed itself from all of these symptoms. It's given me a healthy, beautiful baby boy. So that's something that I really got from your program is self-love.
So, from the worst fear that your marriage is being affected, your relationship, I might never have babies, to being pregnant in 5 weeks, to having a baby. By the way, what's his name?
Wyatt.
Wyatt. So, having Wyatt now in your life is quite a transformation in the span of less than 12 months. How has it been for you to see yourself be the person responsible for creating all of this?
It's been so empowering. I mean, before I was afraid to stand up for myself. I felt like I let doctors bully me into supplements. And now I'm like, well, I can do my own research and I know what's best for my body. And one of my goals in life has always been to be a wife and a stay at home mom. And I find myself just achieving goal after goal after goal. So it just
That
feels
is fantastic. And I do remember at one point, Skylar, we were about halfway through the program, I think. It could have been either before or right after you got pregnant, when your doctor was trying to pressure you into either more medication or supplements, and you really had to speak up and stand up for yourself. Could you take me to that point of your life and show all of our listeners how you can be empowered to get exactly what you want?
Yeah, I remember coming to you with that struggle. I felt like every time I'd go see my naturopath and have blood work done, she would hand me a new supplement and basically I would be forced to buy it. So I was spending hundreds of dollars every month and I felt like I couldn't say no. And that's when you told me, no, you can say, I respect your opinion, but I'm going to heal myself without these supplements.
And you did.
Yes, and I did.
And I know James has been watching you all the way through. So over last year to this year, what's his take on your blossoming from depression and anxiety and oh my God, I might never have a baby, to I love my body, I love my life, I love my husband, I love my baby. What's his take on it?
He was actually the one that was like, you need to reach out to Elena and tell her how great you're doing. So he really sees
Thank
me.
you, James. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I appreciate that. I need to hear it. I love to hear updates.
Yes. So he's very happy for me. And he's always reminding me, remember what Elena said when I have this, like, I revert back to something negative. And he's like, well, remember what she taught you? So he really keeps me on track too. And he uses the same mindset techniques that you taught me.
So it's really amazing how you take in a active role in your own healing. Now you set yourself up for a lifetime of health because now you have the tools. Now it's positively affected James,
Right.
and now you're raising Wyatt. Are you planning to raise Wyatt in the same new mindset and lifestyle?
Yes, exactly. And that's one thing that's so wonderful about this program is it is beneficial for your whole family. Like my husband jokes, happy wife, happy life. And that is so true.
True. It's absolutely true, because if we look inside the homes, we run the show, right? Kind of,
Exactly.
we're the nurturers, we're the caregivers. That's what we do. And it's fantastic. Skylar, if there's one thing that you could tell somebody right now who might be either just finding me, and maybe this is the first interview that they heard of my work with you, or maybe somebody who has followed me maybe for 5 6 years or 5 months and they're on this precipice, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't reach out to Elena, what would you tell them?
I would tell them don't wait, because I had so many of your clients who we did the program together tell me, oh, you're so lucky that you started this when you were young before you let it get out of hand 20 years later. I wish I would have started when you did. And so this program is an investment in your whole family. Like I said earlier, if you're happy, the entire family is healthy and happy. So I would just say, don't wait. Definitely go for it. It's not just about diet and fitness. It translates to your career, your life goals and your dreams, your relationships with yourself and with others.
And this is coming from somebody who within 12 months span created a life of her dreams. No symptoms, no medications, no supplements, a baby, staying at home just like she wanted. I'm still glowing over this fact that in 12 months span, Skylar, you created this very future that you always dreamt about. Mind blowing.
Yes, so true. And, we're moving to the country, which has been another dream of mine. So we're getting ready to do that. And it's just another life goal I have checked off.
The other women were absolutely right. Lucky does not describe it. You're fortunate you have started early on. The age when you started and you got your life on track, that was the age when I was getting sick. It would take me almost 10 years to get to where you are now. So it is empowering. And I want every man and woman out there to know that a life of dreams is absolutely possible. I had over 20 symptoms and over 10 years of struggle. Skylar, it was a year, but 40 symptoms. So your regression into disease happened really, really fast. And had it been not for the saving grace of you finding yourself in the process and healing yourself, I think it would be a scary thought to think where you would have been today. But now to be this empowered, to be this in charge of her own health, having a baby, God knows, maybe having more babies, right, Skylar?
Mm-hmm.
In the future. She's like, no, Elena, let me sleep through this one. But this life is absolutely possible. I know that a lot of us go through this journey of trying many things like Skylar did. She mentioned that she tried the paleo diet, supplements and different testings and more supplements and more doctor visits. And sometimes we feel that maybe what we're working on is not working at all, or maybe it's just not for us. And when we think it's not for us, then we are still going through the grind of more doctors, more tests, more just to feel like we're doing something. But on the inside, we have given up. And that is not the way we want to live our life. We want it to be filled with joy, filled with happiness, filled with smiles like Skylar's, baby Wyatt's, and happy husbands, but having full control and empowerment. And Skylar, you have now the life that you were dreaming about. What is your big plan for yourself for the next 5 to 10 years? So when we do check in, we're going to see if you accomplished it.
My big plan is just continue with everything that you taught me and never hold back any of my dreams, because I know that I can achieve them. And I have so much more confidence now, as I mentioned earlier, that nothing's really holding me back. I don't have all those symptoms dragging me down. I can be the best mom that I can be and have more children and be a wonderful wife.
And be you, be yourself.
I'm so excited for the future. I have hope now, and I know that I can heal myself from anything.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with our listener, Skylar. Thank you for your time, and thank you so much for being exactly what I wish every woman was for herself, is your own advocate, your own creator, and your own everything is possible person.
Thank you so much, Elena.
Well, there you have it. I hope that you had enjoyed this interview with Skylar. Her life was a life of her making. Her health is a health of her making. There is no limit to what she could do. And there's, of course, no limit to what you can do. If you're titter-tattering and thinking, is my 100% health possible? Skylar is young, fantastic. She did it. Could I do it at 50, 60, or 70? The answer is yes. I've worked with clients as young as 16 and as old as 75. And anybody who is committed to their health, anybody who becomes coachable and resourceful and lives a life of no excuses and no postponing your life until one day maybe you'll do it for yourself. These women and men we're able and are able right now to reverse their symptoms, to get their health back on track, and to live that life of happily ever after. If you find yourself in place of not just curiosity, but saying, yes, this is my season. Yes, this is what I need to do for myself. Then I want you to do this one thing. There's a link in the description of this podcast. If it's on YouTube, watch for a link right in the description of the YouTube video. Click on the link. Schedule a 15-minute health clarity call with my team to see what's possible for you. Here's my promise to you. I never take on a client that I'm not sure I could help. I only take on people that we're certain we can get you to your 100% goal. Right now, we are at about 95 to 100% success rate, depends on the month, but it's very high, much higher than most people. Our women, when they come to us with infertility, we have 80% success rate within the first 12 months of us working together. So when it comes to understanding hormone imbalances, thyroid conditions, autoimmune diseases, we are experts at it. So all I want you to do is become your own advocate right now. Click on the link, schedule your call. Let's have a conversation. If we can help you, we'll let you know, and we'll talk about the next steps. If we can't, we want to give you the best resources possible and maybe send you in a different direction. With that said, I want to thank you for your time, and I will see you on the next episode of the Health Wizard podcast.